Page 117. This is the first lesson in Unit 9. Unit 9 is on the dominant seventh of the secondary chords. But just sit down and buckle your seatbelts. Let's see if we can keep this as simple as possible without me going nuts or anybody else. Let's review first. Make sure we know where we're coming from so we get this of stuff done. In C major, all the white keys, we have three primary chords. You have three primary chords in any key. That's the 1, the 4, and the 5. Okay, got those? All right. Put them aside. We're not using those. We're using the secondary chords. The secondary chords are the others, the 2, the 3, and the 6. Now there's a 7th, but that's an oddball. We'll talk about that later. Just do 2, 3, and 6. Those are the secondary chords. Okay. Every chord, no matter what it is, has a dominant. The dominant is the 5th in the key of C major. In a C chord, the dominant is here. And the dominant chord would be the chord built on that note, right? That's why it's a dominant 7. We have that. So it's, well, you get the dominant chords of the secondary chords too. They all get one. Everybody gets one. All God's children got some dominant chords. So in 2 chord, the dominant is here. But we're going to keep the dominant chord a major chord. So we're using a C sharp because the secondary chord itself is a minor chord in a major. Okay? But the dominant of the secondary chord is a major chord. So we're introducing a C sharp here. And then if we add the 7th on top, we get that. It's an A7 chord here. So it is a 2 chord, we take the dominant of it here. So what's the purpose of this mess? Well, it's like the 5-7-1, the cadence we've been doing. The 5-7 leads into the 1 and so forth. Well, all these dominant 7th chords of the secondary chord, they lead into the secondary chord. So a dominant 7th here leads into a 2 chord. I come down here and I take the inversions. I'm going to put the A on top. Leave out the E. Does this look familiar? Well, it leads into it harmonically. The chord progression just works. So you use the dominant 7th of the secondary chord to lead into the secondary chord. So here, the 5-7 to the 2 chord. They do it up above here on top of page 17. We got this mess. You have this E7 chord here. Well, that is a 5-7 of a 6 chord. The 6 chord is here. The 5 is here. We got to make it a major chord because that's a minor chord. And then add the 7. That's it. And then I just put that on top. Come down here. Leave out. It's here. It leads into it. That's what they do, kids. That's all it is. Have a drink if you want one, because I certainly did. A few. Go to the second line. We're here. This is an A7 chord or a dominant 7th of a 2 chord. Well, there's a 2 chord in C major, a 2 chord. Then the dominant is here, and I need a major here. That's the dominant chord of the 2 chord, and then a 7th. And I put that on top, and I get that. It leads into it. The last one, B7 here, let's see where that's coming from. Well, it's the dominant of the 3 chord. So 3 chord is here. It's C major, here. Then the dominant would be here. That would be a B major chord. So I have a D sharp and an F sharp. It helps to know the scales so you know which black keys are involved. I can't help you there. If you haven't learned them, you're on your own, kids. And then we add the 7th. Well, now I'm going to put that on the bottom. Leave that out, and we got that. And that leads into the 3 chord. And then at the bottom of the page, they give you these chord progressions here. Fun with those. The chord names are above. Make sure you understand those. A C, an E7. We're not using the B. Don't have to use all the notes. And an A minor, C7, or the Roman numerals underneath. The 1 chord, then the dominant 7th of the 6th chord, isn't that fun? Leads into the 6th chord. Then the dominant 7th of the 4 chord leads into the 4 chord. You see what they're doing? Yeah? Okay. Leave out all the dominant 7th chords. Just play the regular. We have a C, then an A minor, F, D minor, and then a C. Well, we have a C. Okay. The 7th chords connects them here because it leads into it. Into it. It's a flow. Harmonically it flows. On page 118, we have some more variations, some more things going on at the top of the page. If you read the name of the chord above, we just have a C chord and an A7 chord. Remember what an A7 chord is? That, an A chord with a 7 added. And it's a major chord because it says major in the name. If it were minor, they'd use a little M after it, or a lowercase a. So it's A major, 7, and then a D minor, and a G7, which is 5/7 to 1. So and harmonically it flows. The chord sequence makes sense. It's pleasing to the ear, hopefully. Now the Roman numerals underneath, that's what's going on. You got the 1 chord, and then we got a 5/7, or the dominant 7th of the 2 chord. Remember, the 2 chord is here, so we're talking here. And I'm going to put that on the bottom. Leads into it. Like the 5/7 chord leads into the 1. That's all it does. Connects them. 18. Now in the middle of the page, we again, the chords on top, C to a B7, which is a dominant 7th of the 3 chord. Don't worry about that. Then we go into the 3 chord, E minor, G. Okay. So we got a 1 chord and dominant 7th of the 3 chord, which leads into the 3 chord, to a dominant 7th chord, which leads into the 1 chord. And the bottom row. Have I lost you yet? Well, I'm hanging around there. I got one more row to go. We've got a C, E7, A minor, G7, C. Hopefully these chords are starting to be a little more comfortable to you of what they are. They don't have to be these arrangements or these inversions or whatever. They can be whatever. It's the chord sequence we're after here. Then the numbers underneath. Well, you have the 1 chord, and then we have a dominant 7th of a 6th chord. A 6th chord is here. The dominant 7th is here. Put that on the bottom. That's what we have. Leads into the 6th chord. Then a 5/7 leads into the 1. Yeah. That's all it is. So don't lose a whole lot of sleep over it. Just know that the dominant 7th of that leads into whatever it's a dominant of. That makes sense? Yeah. Okay.